Islam is the youngest of the world's three great monotheistic religions, and today it is the second largest religion in the world with more than 1.5 billion followers. It was promulgated by Muhammad in Arabia in the 7th century. The word Islam means surrender in Arabic, in this case surrender to the one and only God, Allah. Muslims follow the 5 principles of Islam: Shahada, to declare one's faith in the one and only God and belief in Muhammad as his messenger; Salat, to pray 5 times a day; Zakat, to give to those in need; Saum, to fast 1 month per year in Ramadan; and Hajj, to make a pilgrimage in Mecca. The 2 major sources of Islam are the Quran, sacred scriptures considered to be the words of Allah, revealed orally to his messenger Muhammad through the archangel Gabriel. Secondly, the Hadith, which the majority of Muslims believe to be a record of the words and actions of Muhammad. Islam originated when the Prophet Muhammad received divine revelations from Allah, namely submission to God, the expectation that there would be a day of last judgment, and the importance of caring for the poor and needy. Muslims believe Muhammad was the last in a line of prophets, including many mentioned in the Old and New Testament, and that he taught their original and authentic faith. Muhammad began to preach these revelations, gaining followers but also enemies, who forced him to flee to Yathrib, modern Medina, where he had allies. He built an Islamic community and base there, and then led multiple military campaigns, many of them against his original Meccan tribe Quraysh, before he was ultimately able to return to Mecca and conquer it. By his death in 632, Muhammad had managed to unite most of the Arabian Peninsula, laying the foundation for the subsequent Islamic expansion under a series of successors known as caliphs, who would quickly spread Islam through warfare and trade. The first 4 caliphs consisted of Muhammad's relations, and there was some debate about who were officially accepted. Sunni Muslims, who represent 85 to 90% of Muslims today, accept all 4 caliphs, while Shia Muslims only recognize Caliph Ali. Sunni and Shia form the 2 main denominations of Islam today, although smaller ones also exist. Caliph Uthman is perhaps best known for leading the production of copies of the Quran based on texts that had been gathered separately on different parchment and bones during the lifetime of Muhammad, and also on a copy of the Quran that had been collated by Abu Bakr. Under the Rashidun, Umayyad, and then Abbasid caliphates, holy wars called jihad were fought to expand Muslim territory into the bordering Persian and Byzantine empires, as well as into Egypt and North Africa. An increase in trade also helped spread Islam into East Asia, including the Indian subcontinent, China, as well as Indonesia. From North Africa, Muslims were invited to invade Spain by the Christian leader Julian, who needed help subjugating the Visigoth leader Roderick. They conquered the Iberian Peninsula easily due to its fragmented nature and their generous surrender terms, such as reduced taxes. They established a presence there that would last about 8 centuries and produced for some time a golden age of literature, learning, culture, and peace between Muslims, Christians, and Jews. Around the same period in the East, also a 5 centuries long Islamic golden age started during the reign of Abbasid Caliph Harun al-Rashid in Baghdad, which was the largest city in the world. Muslim rule from the Iberian Peninsula all the way to the Indian subcontinent would see the gathering and translation of the world's ancient classical knowledge into Arabic, as well as the rise of many Islamic polymaths, astronomers, mathematicians, physicians, and philosophers. In the 11th century Middle East, the Seljuk Turks also rose to power and conquered vast territories, including Jerusalem. Their strict control over the Holy City was one of the factors that led to the Crusades, a series of holy wars between Muslims and Catholics that lasted for almost 200 years. These series of wars eventually ended with Muslim victory in the Middle East. Notable leader Saladin led the Muslims during the Third Crusade. He founded the Ayyubid dynasty in Egypt, transforming it into a Sunni political and military power. Islam's power was weakened by the 13th century due to Mongol invasions. The Mongols sacked the Abbasid capital Baghdad, marking the end of the Islamic Golden Age, although Muslims were later able to block their advances at the Battle of Ain Jalut. Other reasons include Tamerlane's invasion from Central Asia, along with a population loss due to the Black Death. Although these destroyed the traditional Islamic powers such as the Ayyubids and Seljuks, they also gave way to the rise of Timurid Renaissance, the Mali Empire, and the Bengal Sultanate, which were major economic powers. In the 1200s, another group of Muslim Turks known as the Ottomans also became very powerful and created the Ottoman Empire. They conquered the Orthodox Byzantine Empire and claimed the Muslim Caliphate as they gained control over the Islamic holy sites of Mecca and Medina. The Ottomans ruled large territories for hundreds of years until Turkey was made a republic after World War I. An important turning point in the history of Islam was in the 16th century as Ismail I of Persia, an enemy of the Ottoman Empire, founded the Safavid dynasty and led its conversion from Sunni to Shia Islam to give Iran a cohesive and distinct identity as compared to the Sunni Ottomans. In the West, Muslims who had been in Spain for several hundreds of years became less united and were finally expelled from Iberia in 1492 by rising Christian powers. Later in the 19th and 20th centuries, Islam was substantially weakened by Western powers which colonized Muslim nations for the purpose of trade. Over the past century, important events that shaped the Muslim world included the fall of the Ottoman Empire, the creation of the Arab Gulf states including Saudi Arabia, home to the holiest Muslim cities of Mecca and Medina, the partition of British India into India and Muslim-majority Pakistan before their independence, the establishment of the Jewish state of Israel in the Middle East and the ensuing Arab-Israeli conflicts, the Islamic Revolution of Iran, and the fight of many Muslim nations around the world to regain independence from Western powers. Today, some extreme incidents led some to link Islam to terrorism, although the faith historically advocates for peace and represents a huge diversity of peoples and cultures.